Huyu jamaa Moses Kuria. Ayayayayaya. This Gatundu South legislator is just something else. But you need to know that this time he has not gotten into trouble for what he has said. Yeah, because this legislator says a lot of things. No, it's not what he said. It is what he did, allegedly. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But first, some house cleaning and a heads up. Now, in my previous video about the Iran issue, I regret that I gave you information that was not correct. I said that there are roughly 1,000 prophecies in the Holy Bible, in the Holy Scriptures, of which so far 500 have been fulfilled and 500 are yet to be fulfilled. That is not correct. Actually, there are approximately 2,500 prophecies in the Holy Scriptures. And a staggering 2/3 of that has already come to pass. And only a third remains. Now, there's an amazing video right here on YouTube that has a lot of details on this for those who are interested. And I've put a link on the top right-hand corner of your screens. Just click on it and go there. It's about an hour long, but oh my, is it revealing or what? Extremely important for those who want to understand the times in which we live in. Very perilous times, I can tell you. And the season we are living in, is a good way of introducing the heads up I want to give you. I want to remind regulars on this channel once again that the times in which we are living in are times of exposure and revelations. Things that were hidden before shall be shouted from rooftops. And we have already seen that happening very clearly. Let me give you a quick example. Very many presidential elections in Kenya have been rigged before. People talk and there are rumors all over the place, but nobody can prove anything. But in 2017, although the servers were never opened to date, we even knew where the rigging was being done, from a house in Karen. And so many other things were revealed, But the most mind-boggling to me was the repeat presidential election. Now, most Kenyans get a headache, immediately put a few numbers in front of them, unfortunately. But those who have a basic understanding of statistics and probabilities will know what I'm talking about when I say the repeat presidential elections in October 2017 was a farce. We have also seen right here in Kenya false churches being exposed for everybody to see. Yep, we're in the season of the truth being laid bare for all to see. Even truths that were hidden from a long time ago. Now, even if you don't believe what I'm saying, why should this concern you? I'll tell you. If you have a mpango wa kando somewhere, you're a married man, and you're keeping a woman somewhere, and you're hiding this from your wife, take note of the season we're in. And if you're a married woman doing the same, take careful note of where we are. And it is already happening. I'm sure if we did a survey on this channel, to ask all members, if they have recently heard of a certain married man being busted, or a married woman being busted, I think you're going to be in for a shock. There are so many cases in recent times. It is the season we're in. Just a few hours ago, it was revealed by the Canadians that the plane that went down in Iran, shortly after the crisis started, did not have a mechanical problem or anything like that. It was shot down by a missile. And I can assure you, mambo bado, tena bado sana. Now, to the specific heads up I wanted to give you. Intrigues in government. Now, the ongoing Miguna saga has really confused Kenyans. Because the government appears to be saying one thing and then doing another. Now, I'm aware of the fact that many of us do not know that it is possible, and it has happened many times before, where you find in a government two opposing forces fighting each other and giving contradictory instructions. And sometimes, like in the current case, they're not really fighting against each other. What has happened is that two powerful people have disagreed on something, on a policy, on what to do. And there are so many ways to skin a cat. And therefore one of those people, maybe even the least powerful of the two, takes action. And the government in question is left with egg on their face. And the citizens, totally confused. Now, if you're able to see a post I put up in Club 1999, about 2 days ago, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, the current weekly intelligence briefing offer also includes membership to Club 1999 for the same period of time. Anyway, my point is the season we're living in, where it is very difficult to hide something, to hide the truth. And so, brace yourselves. The truth shall come out very soon. Well, admittedly, the truth comes out much earlier for some people than others. But bottom line, inevitably, it comes out so that kila mtu anajua. Everybody knows. The Jacob Juma assassination in May 2016 was very confusing for those Kenyans who understand a little more than others. Because on one side, there was clearly an effort to cover up the truth. But from the same government trying to cover up the truth about this assassination, there came leaks, which were made public, very detailed about exactly what happened and who was involved. Names were named. I am sure many of you remember that. And before we go back to the hot topic of Moses Kuria, maybe you should take a quick look, a sneak preview of my latest weekly intelligence briefings, which talks about this. I'll be back in a bit. Now, it is extremely difficult to believe that Moses Kuria was once a banker. Very difficult. Because for starters, the man is not consistent. But this latest Moses Kuria controversy seems to have introduced to Kenyans yet another side of this controversial Gatundu South legislator. Because a woman, who incidentally is a political activist by the name of Joyce Wanja, has made allegations and gone beyond that, gotten a P3 and actually accused and filed charges against the legislator for assaulting her, kicking and punching her. And her story, is just another story. According to Wanja, on 8th December, that's over a month ago, they were with Moses Kuria at the Royal Media Services Studios. That is the parent company that owns the popular Citizen TV. And Wanja was waiting to go on air. And therefore she told Moses Kuria that he needs to recant statements that he made that were not appropriate at all. At a fundraising function for the disabled in Kiambu about a week earlier, she said that Moses Kuria, in front of children, had said some very nasty things about women. Something about their innerwear being smelly and torn and worn out. Not only that, Wanja claims Kuria said, Hakuna Mahali Uwezi kulalisha Mwanamke. There is nowhere where you cannot have a woman. You know, I've always wondered, and maybe you can solve this mystery for me. These people who make such crude remarks, insulting remarks against women, do they have mothers? Do they have sisters? Do they have daughters? Educate me, please, because I'm lost. Because logic dictates that if you say hakuna mahali ambayo huwezi kulalisha mwanamke, it also means hata mama yako hakuna mahali hawezi kulalishwa. Isn't that what it means? Anyway, after Wanja told the legislator that those were very unfortunate remarks and he should withdraw them, the reaction of Kuria, according to Wanja, was that he stood up, walked up to her, punched her and kicked her. Well, Honorable Kuria has now been arrested. He has recorded a statement at Kilimani police station and is due to be charged shortly. Now, of course, this will not be the first time that this controversial legislator has been charged in court. No, it has happened several times. But getting out of this one may be a bit tricky, because assault is very serious. But of course, the question on everybody's mind is this political? Are these Kuria's political enemies trying to get at him? More so because it is not a secret. Joyce Wanja, the accuser, the one with the allegations, is a political activist. And of course, for those who understand Kenyan politics, that question, or the answer to that question, is a no-brainer. Why? Because in Kenya, everything is political. The food you eat and its price is political, whether you like it or not. The sufferings which Kenyans are going through, the economic sufferings, are mostly political. Although there are troubles the world over, the truth is, the impact of our troubles has a lot to do with politics. Moses Kuria himself has told us in the past that the government needs to apologize to Kenyans. He revealed to us that this government has taken loans of 9% interest and left on the table other people offering the same loan at 1% interest. Moses Kuria has told us that. And being a former banker, he should know, because he has told us that the heavy debt burden, which is causing a lot of the troubles that Kenyans are going through, can be directly linked to the government cooking the books of accounts and lying to us about what they were really doing. So yes, everything in Kenya is political. But the most unfortunate thing that will happen here is that what will happen is that the case will be turned political. What I mean is that justice will not be served, or it will be very difficult to serve justice. Because if it is true somebody assaulted you, it should just be about the assault, period. How on earth does politics come in? But of course, you and me know, politics will come in. Team Tanga will come to Kuria's defense. If somebody steals money from public coffers, is corrupt, the case should be purely about corruption. But in Kenya, it has been about politics, about people weaponizing the fight against corruption, about people wanting to finish somebody, so that in the end, it is very quickly forgotten what the case is really all about. And in my humble view, this is very, very sad. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. You are about to discover one of the most important secrets that you will ever come across when it comes to surviving and thriving during the hard times that we're currently going through. And I can summarize it in 2 words. Think backwards. When you want to start a business or a money-making project, think backwards. And I assure you, success will come much more quickly. And by the way, I'm talking from practical experience, not theories read from some book. And I will come back to that in a minute. When you're thinking of landing that job when there are no jobs in the market, think backwards. And I assure you, even if you don't have the papers or the qualifications, you'll get the job. I've done it myself. And let's start with an example from business. And the example I will give is a business you all know very well. And in those days, it was not the big successful company it is today. The Safaricom company was recovering from the disaster that was the Simu ya Jamii project. You know, when you launch a project that loses a company money instead of making money for it, everybody is cautious. When you bring up a new idea, people cannot stop thinking about the last idea that failed. Now, in those days, there was a lot of hijacking of buses along the Nairobi-Mombasa road. Hijackers knew that traders frequented the route and they always carried huge sums of money to go and buy products and goods. And most of these traders traveled at night. Safaricom approached some of these traders with an idea to solve their problem. It was a new and confusing idea, but some were willing to try it. The idea was, give Safaricom company your money in Mombasa before you travel. You will get an acknowledgement in your phone. Travel to Nairobi by bus without any money in your pocket or without any substantial amounts of money in your pocket. And when you arrive in Nairobi, go to a big Safaricom dealer and show them the message on your phone. And they will give you your cash. You buy your products, travel back to Mombasa. It worked. And it was foolproof, because even if somebody stole your phone, when you arrived in Nairobi, you replaced your SIM card and you're able to retrieve your message, showing the money you deposited with Safaricom. That was the birth of the most lucrative and profitable idea ever in the history of business in Africa. I am of course talking about the M-Pesa services. Safaricom did not launch the service with outlets and advertising, etc., etc. Instead, they thought backwards. They started with the customer. They started with the transaction. In these hard times, don't waste your valuable resources setting up a company, advertising, employing staff, etc., etc. Instead, think backwards. Start with the customer and start with the transaction. If you want a job and you're looking for a job, a good job, start thinking of how the company you want to work for will benefit from something that you can give them or something you can do for them. Do your research and confirm that that company actually needs what you have to offer. And find a way to do that thing for that company, a demonstration of sorts. Either by doing a transaction, if you're a sales and marketing person, or by working as a volunteer without pay to prove the value of your idea and the value of what you have to offer. Folks, always think backwards. It will change your life. Now, I've produced a documentary titled How to Prosper in a Gloomy Economy. Not only does it give you practical real-life examples on how you can think backwards on your way to success, but it also gives you plenty of other brilliant ideas to prosper when things are as tough as they are right now. And always remember that it's a proven fact. People make more serious money when the economy is in trouble, not when it is booming. There are many more opportunities when things are not going right. Problems are actually opportunities. And the more the problems, the more the opportunities. My amazing documentary is in 3 parts, part 1, part 2, and part 3. And it has already helped very many people, some of whom had already given up. It costs only 5,400 Kenya shillings of $54. But I am so confident that it will change your life that I am giving away part 1 of this 3-part documentary free. Because I'm super confident after you have gone through part 1, you will want the whole documentary. So all you have to do is look in the description area of this video. You'll find a link. Click on it and you'll be able to get part 1 of my amazing documentary free. Enjoy it, get some very useful game-changing tips, and then come back to the same description area of this video and get details of how you can order the entire 3-part documentary and how to make your payment. But even if you don't order my entire documentary, I will have no problem with you. It is okay, or as the young people say, it is cool. It is already crystal clear that the year 2020 is going to be a very difficult year. So don't waste any time. Go to the description area of this video and grab part 1 of my amazing documentary, How to Prosper in a Gloomy Economy. All the best and power to you.